really bugs me about it is how funding is spent. Like we have the highest drug rate in Simcoe County. Like Simcoe County is the highest drug rate in Ontario, yet there's nothing being done about it. We've done some surveys, and the biggest problems in our community is transportation and recreation. We have no way to get anywhere out of Stayner unless you have your own car to drive. But when you're in high school, it's not very likely that you're going to have your own car and your G2 at the age of 16. We have Blue Mountain for the winter and Wasaga Beach for the summer, but if you can't get there, you're SOL. It's not like your parents can drive you every day. They have full-time jobs themselves. They don't get the summer off. Sure, we got Wasaga Beach where we can go to in the summer, but if we can't get some busing there, what's the point? Like, if we have these $1 million being spent on a highway that we don't really need, $1 million being spent on a fire hall and police station that we don't really need because we already had one, what's the point? Like, how are we supposed to get there? Like, people sit around and complain about the youth in Stayner, but there's nothing being done. Like, you give us something to do, and maybe, people will stop going to car hopping every night, and people won't be going to parties and getting drunk every day if there's something to do. Like, in Collingwood, there's movie theaters, there's bowling alleys and everything, but we can't get there because we can't drive ourselves. If you have all this funding that you can spend on fire halls and you can spend on highways, why can't you put aside a few $1,000s to get something in the community for youth? Like, I can't even go and use the basketball nets in my local schools without getting yelled at because I shouldn't be there. I'm going to be getting into trouble. I could be using back there. If I get hurt, it's a liability problem. What else are we supposed to do? Like, at least we have basketball nets, but we can't even use them. Like, we don't have anything. We have a skateboard park that we can't even, use year-round because it keeps being moved and taken down. Like, if we had a constant place for the skateboard park, at least there'd be something for youth interested in skateboarding so they can go and use it and do what they want. They complain because people are there using drugs and getting drunk. Well, if you keep tearing it down, taking it up, we can't use it. What else are we going to use it for? Like, you got to give youth something to do in the community. Something that really bugs me about my community is the way youth are treated. Like, we're constantly profiled. It's just like, oh, that youth's wearing a flat B hat. He's going to steal my wallet. Just because I wear a flat B hat and I wear it backwards doesn't mean I'm going to steal your wallet. You can't judge people by the way they look. Like, I wear a flat B hat, I wear it backwards, I do volunteer work, I haven't stolen anybody's wallet. What do you think about that? Like, something that really bugs me is the profiling used on youth by police even. Like, I remember countless times where I'd be biking home from his friend's house late at night, police would come stop me and search me just because they think I look suspicious and I have something going on or I have something on me. It's not right that I can't bike home from a friend's house at night and not be stopped by cops and be searched just because the way I dress or the way I look. Something that really bugs me about my community is the amount of services we have. Like, we have virtually nothing, and the services that we do have, there's no awareness about them. Like, going through high school, I could have really used someone to talk about and someone to talk to and work through my problems with, but I didn't know there was anyone. I was in my guidance office bugging them like 3 times a week with 15-minute meetings because I didn't know there was services. It took me to get in trouble with substance abuse and alcohol at school for them to even go, oh, well, we're going to get you to come in and see the counselor every day. It's like, I didn't even know there was a counselor. If I knew there was a counselor, I could have prevented these problems by talking to them every week. There was countless times where I'd skip class to go get high or go get drunk with friends, or I'd skip class just to avoid those things and go home because I didn't know how to say no or have the willpower to talk to them about it and be like, no, man, I want to go to class today. So to completely avoid that, I'd just skip class altogether and go home. Just because I didn't have anyone I could talk to about it and reason with it and learn the steps of peer pressure and how to deal with it. Something that really bugs me is like the drug and alcohol awareness that you get taught in elementary school as a kid. Like, I remember going through SED and all it did was teach me about drugs, what they look like, what they are, what they'll do to you. Like, what is that supposed to do to keep me away from it? I learned that by smoking weed it'll make me calm and relax and make me forget and not think and just laugh and giggle and munch out. Like, how is that supposed to keep me away from it? If anything, that interests me in it more. Like, I remember they gave you a book telling you like what drugs do and how much you could use before you OD on it, or how much coke you can do before your heart stops. Like, how is that educating youth? If anything, they're going to keep that book for when they're in high school. And they go, oh man, I'm going to this party tonight, I got to know how much of this I can do. It never taught me how to say no to drugs. It never taught me how to get away from drugs, or that drugs are bad and I shouldn't be doing them. All it taught me about is what the drugs do to me. Another thing was VIP you do in like grade 8. I don't remember anything about VIP except for it didn't teach me anything. Those aren't the type of things that you should be thinking of when they had to learn about drug and alcohol awareness. You should be learning about what the effects are, what happens when you get addicted, what happens when you OD. Like, the consequences that happen, like losing family and friends or losing all your money in high school, anything like that. It never really educated you on what you need to know, like what kind of education is it for drug and alcohol awareness, that I can't take anything away from it when I get into high school. What we should really be having is youth going in there, not police officers, not adults. Youth going into the elementary schools who just finished high school who are in high school and can actually talk about what it's like to be in high school at that time and deal with the peer pressure and the alcohol and the drugs that they just experienced, so they know what they're talking about. There's no point when you get a 50-year-old police officer coming in and telling you, when I was in high school, things have changed since you were in high school. I'm sorry, but you can't educate us on what we need to know now.